and I'm going to bring you the evening update. This is not an Orthodox hat. This is a good old cowboy hat, which I like to wear because my eyes need all the help they can get in my old age. And this, first of all, I think they're cool and they look good and it blocks the sun. Baseball caps don't block the sun from the sides or the back. Okay, so what's going on? Let's do our praise. This is a Bible believing channel. There is no God like Jehovah. 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 There is no God. There is no God like. There is no Messiah like Yeshua. 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 Okay. The IDF has told us that they made significant progress in destruction of tunnels today. A lot of targets have been hit. Some Gazans have been taken from North Gaza down to the south. I don't think it's a whole lot. We're being told that half of the housing is, well, the average family size there is probably five, and then when you run the numbers, it appears that approximately half of the residents of Gaza, not the military, the others, would no longer have housing, and it keeps going. So I don't know how they're going to return to Gaza unless the UN wants to just reach into their pockets, which they probably will do, and build new houses. But the prophetic time clock is, of course, running out quickly. The There's all kinds of lies coming out from Hamas and Hezbollah. They don't quit. Hezbollah did about a 29 or a 30 rocket launch some time ago in the evening. Well, it's about 20 minutes to 6 in the late afternoon, I guess. And they were mostly hitting the border towns by Lebanon, which are mostly evacuated. The Hamas is still managing to get a lot of missiles out. I heard somebody say they have tunnels that they can launch missiles out of. I don't quite understand this yet, but I'm sure the IDF does. I reckon it's just a matter of some days until there's a very substantial reduction in the amount of rockets getting launched out of Gaza. A policewoman was fatally stabbed in Jerusalem area in the terror. I think it was in Jerusalem, probably East Jerusalem. I'm not sure. Jerusalem, and the terrorist was neutralized. I'm thinking, what else is going on? The IDF is doing pretty good. We're counterattacking Hezbollah quite voraciously when they attack us with their shoulder-fired anti-tank weapons and other stuff. They have mortars and missiles and rockets. Most use of artillery, which is cheap. For us, it's Biden, who's clearly afraid of everything going on down here, brings an Ohio-class submarine into the Mediterranean and says it's nuclear capable and is attempting to scare Iran. And I mean, the chance of this working is not 10%, it's zero. Okay, it's not going to work. He doesn't understand that these crazies that think they're fighting for God, the only thing that they're going to respect is brute force applied, not threatened, actually applied. Just because you have brute force, they think, well, he's afraid to use it because there'll be uprisings all around the world. And it's not working. Biden doesn't know what he's doing. And he's scared to attack. They keep attacking his American bases in Iraq and Syria daily. They've actually upped it. And he doesn't do anything. I mean, it's going to break the morale of the soldiers. They're going to sit there, why does he keep us here? If he's not going to do anything, why don't we just withdraw? All we're doing is sitting in the bases. We're afraid to go out and do patrols. We'll get blown up. I'm sure, I don't have firsthand information, but it sure sounds to me that's the case. So he's breaking their morale, but there's not that many soldiers in these bases. So Blinken went and visited Iraq, and it didn't get him anywhere. And then the Iraqi guy that he visited flew into Iran and probably told Iran what happened. Um, they so you're sure. If they're going to knock out the Houthis, they're going to need air. And if they're going to knock out the Hezbollah, they need the Gerald Ford in the Mediterranean. And Hamas is basically about finished. No other country wants to step in and be in charge of rebuilding or supervising Gaza after the war. So it's up to Israel and nobody. America may want to join in. I don't know. I have no idea. Um, the shekel regained some ground against the dollar, not a lot, but it's coming back up there. Let's see, what else is going on? There's a couple other countries are withdrawing their ambassadors. South Africa called back their ambassador or something. I think they're attempting to break or strain relations with Israel. They're so anti-Israel, it's not even funny. Um, I don't think that's really going to be of grievous concern to Israel at this point. They got much better things to deal with. Nasrallah of Hezbollah, we believe, has been living underground for about 30 days. He's scared. He might get targeted, assassinated. He might just get randomly hit by a bomb or a missile or assassin or who knows what. I don't know if it's true that they can launch missiles out of tunnels. They might have a tunnel entrance where they could push the missile launcher out, and they might go, 50, 100 feet and then launch and then go back in the tunnel. That is what I think they mean. I don't think they're going to launch anything from under the ground through an opening. Unless they have some tunnels that got really big, like 30 by 40 openings they could open and shoot the missile out from down there. But I doubt that. I really doubt that. So every day we're blowing up and destroying more tunnel entrances / exits. And, it's just a matter of time till they cave in. Then they're going to want to, when it gets really bad for them, they're going to want to start negotiating really badly. And Israel's going to say, we want the hostages first, unconditionally, then we're going to talk. No hostages, we don't talk. Boom, 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 bombs come again. That's it. Now, there's a lot of problems with this with the hostages. Number one, Netanyahu demanded the Red Cross go in and see the hostages and find out what kind of condition they're in. One of the reasons he's doing that is there's supposedly 241 or so hostages, and half of them could be dead or more. We don't know. They could all be dead. That's why you're not finding the hostages. We don't know. These are not well people, they're not balanced mentally. They could all be dead. We have no idea. None whatsoever. Or they could all be alive. We have no idea. I mean, these are people that take infants under a year old hostage. Could you imagine what kind of people these are? These are, nutbags. And they stopped their own civilians from exiting to the south. They shot missiles at them. They shoot at them with sniper thing. Israel has to protect the road to let them get out of there. Humanitarian aid keeps coming in, no fuel, no word that the internet came back up. The cell phone towers and the internet were cut off in Gaza last night or yesterday afternoon. And as far as I know, they're not back on. The hospitals have lights. We have videos and photos taken of from inside the hospitals. They have lights. They're just lying about all this stuff. As far as I know, the entire American fleet and everything has done nothing except shoot a few missiles down from the Houthis. In terms of, they've fought against the militias attacking the bases in Iraq and Syria. What else? Saudis are quiet. Jordan is saying that, what did they say? Something, if we did something in Gaza, it was the same as declaring war, but what the heck was it? Let me think. He was saying if you keep it up in Gaza, basically I don't remember what he said. If we did something, he would be considering it as basically a declaration of war. So that's the beginning of seeing Edom and Moab turn on us. It'll elevate. Believe me, it'll elevate. Iran still has done nothing on their threats. The deadline passed. They're not doing anything. Biden's scared. Biden don't know what to do. Biden's no real experienced heavyweight guy that understands these things. He doesn't know nothing. And he's listening to the soldiers. And a lot of times listening to your generals is the kiss of death for a politician. So he doesn't know to go left or right or up or down. He doesn't know what to do. Blinken's no genius. Blinken's just a real good con man. So he's at a loss. He's gonna have to do something because they're keeping the pressure on by attacking his bases. And now we're getting more criticism that Israel doesn't have a good exit plan. What the heck is this moron talking about? We're in the middle of the war. How do we know what's left to exit from? If this thing keeps up for another 30 days, you're going to probably see 75% of the housing in Gaza unavailable. And how is their economy going to function if only 25% of them come back? See, it's all stupid. It's like the waltz of the stupids, doesn't understand what's going on. Look, the guy has trouble navigating off the stage. Well, come on. What are we talking about here? This is not he's not a sound-minded fellow anymore. He's too old. So, we just watch this thing and see what happens. It's basically the same as it was yesterday, except we made more progress. That's basically it. And that's how it's going to be day by day. More progress, more progress, more progress. And then eventually they're going to want to get out alive, and they're going to have a lot of trouble. They're going to have to completely demilitarize and allow us to go in and destroy the tunnels and make sure they're completely demilitarized. And their whole organization is going to have to be broken into, they'll be busted into civilianhood, if there is such a word like that. They're going to, all their command centers, whatever's left, will be destroyed in the tunnels. Their munition factories, storage warehouses, their uniform houses, their food banks, their fuel banks, everything, is destroyed. So there's nothing left. They'll have to turn in their ID cards, and the ones that we know committed the atrocities against these civilians in southern Israel on October 7th will be put into military tribunal trials for, murder and things like that. And these trials are going to go very quickly, and they may even do group trials, depending how many we have, and then they'll get hung or shot. Or they might put them to sleep with lethal injection. There's only so many they could cut the heads off. That they're not going to do. They're going to guillotine them. No, they won't do that. Firing squad, high potential. Hanging, doubt it. That's what the Muslims use. I don't think they'll do that. Lethal injection, yeah, well, very likely. Gas chamber, those things are out of use. Electric chair, they're not gonna go get an electric chair and electric room. That's not happening. So I think it would be either a firing squad because it's military, or it would be a lethal injection. The firing squads, the way those usually work is you get, 7 or 10 guys, they line up, and only half of them have a live bullet in the chamber. They don't know. The sergeant or the captain or whoever it is hands them a rifle that's preloaded, so they don't get a chance to open the bolt and see what's in there. And they usually stand at about 20 feet away or something, and they tie the guy to a pole, blindfold him, and they have his hands tied behind his back, behind the pole, so he can't get anywhere. Sometimes they might tie his feet, and then they have a countdown, and they fire, and they shoot, and that's it. They all aim for the heart, usually. And that's the end of that. The other way is the lethal injection. And they put them in a room, and they videotape it. They strap them to a table. They might invite the victims' families to watch if they know who did what. And they strap them to a table, and they start giving them the injections, and they wait for them to die. And the people could watch them die. They could also watch them die with a firing squad. I don't think there's any other type of, murdering or killing the war criminals that is got any viability other than that. And Hamas isn't going to want to see that. See, Hamas wants to walk away with victory, or to be able to say they got a victory. So does Iran and Hezbollah, and the others want this for them. So official trades them 5,000 or 6,000 terrorist prisoners from the jail for the hostages. Well, they consider that a great victory. They freed the prisoners from the jail, which motivates more people to become terrorists because they figure if they get caught, they go to jail and they'll get traded out. Israel's never going to do that in a million years, so that's not going to happen. Trade the soldiers that we captured, for the hostages one-on-one, and I doubt that'll go anywhere. So we just wait for it to keep progressing. The circle that they're surrounded in, or the square really, is closing and closing and closing. The Palestinians are freaked out because they're seeing checkpoints in Israel, in Gaza, with American soldiers, American flags. They got to identify themselves, and they're checked against the database to see if they're wanted. They're in shock seeing Israeli checkpoints in their communities, So really, that's about it. Those of you on Telegram, I did a really good Bible study, I think it was anyway, this evening or the late afternoon or mid-afternoon, whatever it was, on Ezekiel 36, relating to the second Exodus, redemption, and things like that. If you want to join my Telegram, it's free. Download the Telegram app. It's called Telegram Messenger. That's free. Install it. Send me an email. My email address is in the description box under the video on the bottom line. And I'll read it to you. It's Israel Giving with the number 7 at Gmail. So it's Israel Giving one word, with the digit 7@gmail.com. And just send me an email with Telegram in the subject header. You don't really have to say anything else. And I'll give you an invite link to the group. You click on it, boom, you're in the group. It takes 2 or 3 seconds. Easy. They got 700 million members. It's a very nice, safe place. We have no trouble there. I put a lot of videos and pictures up from the war. That, anyway. I'll continue doing updates here, including a big Bible study or, update in the morning, and I'll do evening updates as long as I'm able, I guess. And I also put the videos up on Twitter. And that's really about it. So at this point, I send my shalom to all those who love Yeshua HaMashiach. Please pray for me, Moshe, and my wife Rivka, for peace, safety, protection, joy, healing. Pray for our finances. Pray for our animals and pets that are all rescues to be happy, healthy, and whole. Pray we don't have to go in any bomb shelter. And make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell. So if we have any... they're having a little traffic hello. They just stop in the street and say hello to each other and block the road. If anything, suddenly happens, I'll be doing emergency updates on YouTube, so you'll want to be subscribed and get the notices. And that's about it. So, okay, kids, I'm out. Thanks.